Today we'll be making organic eggs and tomatoes. You're watching the Bear Pantry Show. Okay, so Joe and Jane and I went to the farmer's market. We have a local farmer's market here in the little town where I live. It's on Saturdays and it's very small, but you know what? We had fun. We had a lot of good food and we bought some eggs there and some tomatoes and some onions. The only thing that's not going to be organic in this meal is going to be the butter. And I'm sure I could use olive oil, but no, I'm going to use butter. So anyways, this is an awesome little organic meal that we're going to do. Joe's been wanting to do this recipe for the longest time. He wished he could be here to do it with us today, but he's at work. But this is his recipe, and he's always boasting about when they used to make this when he was little, because it's all organic, and I think it looks different, tastes different than if you would use regular eggs and tomatoes and onions, okay? So take a look at what we're going to need. 3 ingredients. Take a look. Onions that are already diced. I sliced up a nice organic tomato. Look how beautiful and red it is. So see how red and rich it is? Because it's organic. It's so beautiful, it's soft. And I sliced it up because Joe says you're supposed to slice it, not dice it. But the onions are diced. And look, from the whole carton, all I've got is a couple of eggs. It's not like I didn't tell these people here that I want to do this show, right? And they're just in there eating the eggs. I guess it tasted really, really good. So all we're going to do, first of all, before I even crack my eggs, we're going to move over to the stove. And I'm going to get some butter in the saucepan or the frying pan. And then we're going to start off with the onions and tomatoes. So follow me over to the stove. Here we go. We just want that to melt a little bit. And of course you can use less butter if you want. And this recipe calls for salt and black pepper, but I really don't like salt and black pepper with my eggs. And so I'm not going to put that in today, but you can totally do that to your taste, alright? So let me get the first 2 ingredients. So the first ingredient is the onions, and the flames are kind of high. I might turn that down. The onions are in there. Let me get the tomatoes. And I have decided to turn the fire down to medium. I'm going to let that cook for a little bit while I go crack the eggs. So I'm allowing the onions and the tomatoes to saute for a little bit while I get the eggs cracked, okay? And I found out a little, did you know, when I was at the farmer's market, I always wondered why some eggs are brown and some eggs are white. And I always wondered too why the cooks on TV only use brown egg, right? But I found out at the show, and I hope it's correct because I've heard it before but I didn't believe it. I found out that brown or red chickens lay brown eggs and white chickens lay white eggs. And it's as simple as that. So I really hope that's true because then I'm going to look silly, right? So let me move back over to my stove and see how my tomato and eggs are coming, alright? Not tomato and eggs, tomato and onions, sorry. So at this point, all I want to do is add a little bit of water, not too much, because you want this to cook like almost into oblivion. Really simple, see? You want this to be really, see how mushy it is? Joe says that's the thing about it. It has to be really mushy before we add the eggs in there. We're almost there. So the eggs have been, well, not the eggs, I keep saying eggs, this portion of it has been cooking for at least a couple of minutes already. And I'm only doing 2 eggs for 1 because that's all I have left. And for 2 because it's only going to feed me. Let me get my spatula. And the flames are on medium. And we're just going to let this cook for a minute or 2. Don't want to rush it. And Joe swears, because the tomatoes are organic and the onions are organic, that this will taste sweeter than any other store-bought tomatoes and stuff that you can get. I'm just going to stay here and allow this to cook for a little bit. Okay, so here we are, guys. My beautiful eggs with onions and tomatoes. I was trying to burn some of it, huh? It smells absolutely delicious in here. And this is going to be my lunch today because it's 12 o'clock already. It's lunchtime when I'm doing the show for you guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching the show. If you like it, hit like on the bottom. This is a real simple recipe. Sometimes I kind of refrain from doing the egg recipes and stuff because I think it's so simple that everybody should know how to do it, right? But I met a friend recently that says, you don't want to see what I even do to an egg. I can't even cook water. And right away that tell me he can't cook at all because you don't cook water, right? You boil it. Anyways, thank you for picking up the book. Thank you for sharing the show with people for me. Share the video if you like it. And also, thank you so much for all the support that you give me. I really and truly love you guys. Until I see you again, take care. I'm always in a rush to taste the food, and then I realize I have to take a picture. That's my thumbnail. I hate talking with my mouth full. Well, Joe wasn't lying, you guys. This thing tastes so good. The tomato is so sweet. You really and truly don't need the salt and pepper. I love it just like this. The onions are sweet. The tomatoes are sweet. It tastes good. It's worth it for the money that we paid for the eggs and the tomatoes and the onions, okay? Don't forget to stop by my vlog. Right here on YouTube, it's called Babs Bear Talk. Please be sure to stop by my review channel right here on YouTube. It's called Bear Pantry Talk.